Hello brick sculptors and welcome back to Brick Sculpt. Today I hit up the Pick a Brick wall and I got some stuff to show you here. Now I don't have a Lego store super close to my house. It's about a 45-minute drive, but the cool thing is when I do that 45-minute drive there's actually two Pick a Brick walls. I live in the Chicago suburbs, and in Schaumburg they have the Schaumburg Mall, which has a official Lego store inside, which has the cleanest, nicest looking Pick a Brick wall I've ever seen. And then just around the corner in the streets of Woodfield Mall, they call it, they have a Legoland, which is the messiest, worst pick-a-brick wall I've ever seen. But anyway, if you're going out there and if I'm taking the drive, I have to hit both, of course. So I always do. I usually do better at the official Lego store. I was informed by the people at the Legoland that it's actually not owned by Lego. It's franchised or something like that. So the pricing is a little bit different. Obviously, they keep it a total mess. It's really bad, but sometimes I do find stuff there. These three orders I got from the official Lego store. The Legoland didn't have anything that I was particularly after, so I passed on that one, and I got everything from the Lego store. Now, you might notice I have two different containers. As you probably know by now, Pick-a-Brick has switched to the box. We'll do a follow-up video on this where I'll talk about box versus cup. But one of the really cool things about this Lego store, they are still allowing refills. They did say it's for a limited time. Eventually, they are going to stop. I don't know when that will be. But they said that last time I went also. I still have my cups. I brought them in. They allowed me to refill them. I think, and I'm going to test this in the next video, I think that the cup is better for small parts and the box is better for big parts. But we're going to test that out and see. I'm sure you've seen a million videos, cup versus box, so I'll try to make it a little more interesting, but, either way. Let's take a look at what I got here. So we'll start with one of the cups. This one's real simple. 3-leaf green pieces. The only thing in here that's not those are these guys, because I had to fill out the stud inside with something, so I just threw some 4x4 gray plate in there because I use these under my sidewalks. But the rest of this is just 3-leaf bright green pieces. One of the best ways to buy them. I use a ton of these. So that is the whole container. I'm going to also use these to test my theory, because this I would classify as a small piece. So I want to see if this amount will fit in the box. I don't think it will, but we're going to test that. In the box, I have all big pieces. I'm going to open that last, though. This cup here is mixed. Same thing, I filled out the stud with these gray 4x4s. They had 1x4 white plate, which I use a ton of. So I grabbed a whole bunch of. There's more in the bottom here. I won't go through every piece with you here, but I will show you a little bit of everything. They had these brown curved small windows, which I've never used this piece before. So I picked up, I think, 10 of them, and I'll try to build something cool out of those. More exciting than those, at least for me, was in the same bin, they had the glass for these windows, which are these guys, the little ones. And these I buy quite often because I use the small windows in white for a lot of my houses and buildings, and the glass is fairly pricey on the online Bricklink and Brick Owl. Not horribly, but for how small a part it is, it does cost a little bit. So I got a ton of glass. I got 10, I believe 10 windows. Yeah, and I've probably got 100 glass. They're all mixed in here in the bottom. Lots of the glass pieces. So those will come in handy. We'll see what I can do with these brown windows. I think those will end up being pretty cool. But lots of these glass guys as well. So lots of white 1x4 plate. I already had a lot of these, but they did have a bin of 2x4 plates. I picked up a few more, but I've already got a decent amount of these, although it's a super handy piece. I bought a whole cup of them last time, so I only bought maybe a quarter cup this time of them. And I bought a bunch of these last time, and I bought more. I didn't buy enough last time. But this piece you can do so much with. This is the snot on 4 out of the 5 sides. The back side doesn't have it. But my favorite application for these are pillars or trees. And what I do is I just stack them like this. And when you do that, whoops, you get this this column that has studs on all 4 sides. And then you can take your reddish brown pieces or your dark brown pieces or whatever you want, and you can make a tree out of this. This is how I did all the trees, some of the bigger trees in my other videos. That's the core that I use, and it works really well for a tree trunk. You can also make this in columns, or pillars, or parts of fronts of buildings. If you put a nice facade on this, you know, you can even do something like this with the 2x4 plate. And it just makes for, one, a super strong pillar because you have connections on the snot and on the studs, but also really good looking. You know, you could use that for a lot of things. So I picked up a bunch of those. They're in here. I picked up a few of these. This piece can be handy. I don't have a ton of uses for it, but it's kind of like that double jumper where it's 3 long. You can put a stud in any position of the bottom, and then 2 in the middle of the 3 on top. These can be really handy for building stairs, because they can help you stagger the stairs. But I picked up a handful of those, not a ton. There's a couple, not a lot, maybe 5 or 6 of these 1x6 plates in black. Anytime I find black plate, I buy it. They didn't have a lot. They were in the one bin that was just mixed stuff. Like they used to have a bin of it, and they were almost out, so they threw the rest in that mixed bin. But I use these for roofs all the time. The way I build roofs with cheese slopes, you use a lot of plate. So anytime I can find black plate, I pick it up. And I seem like I'm always low on it. They also had an oddball one of these in there, which I have a bunch of. These 1x5 medium nougat plate. So I just tossed that in there as well. These were really cool. This is kind of that short wall on 3 sides. I envisioned seeing like a small fish tank or maybe an ice holder on a drink machine or something like that with this. I didn't get a ton of them, but I got a nice handful. I've probably got 30 or so in here. And then I got some of these green corner pieces, corner plates. I had previously bought a lot of these, and I use these a lot in landscaping. If I'm trying to make a sloped hill, this shape works really well. You can stack them up and build them up in all different ways to make it look a lot less flat. You know, and just linking a whole bunch of these together in all different directions, you can pretty easily come up with a nice slope and just build it up and up and up and get a nice gradual slope. Then you can cover it in plants or cheese wedges or tile plate, whatever you want on there. But these work really well for that. So I got a handful of these because I was low on them. I used them for the wooded section of my city that I've been working on. All right, and that should cover everything I got in this cup. It's a lot of stuff. It's always impressive how much stuff can come out of one of these cups. But that's the cup. Let's go ahead and open up this box. Now this took forever, but I did take the time to link all the brick together and stack it as tight as I could with the box closing perfectly. I mean, there's really not a lot of room in here because of how I stack this. And this is why I say I have the feeling you're not going to fit as much plate in a cup as you will in a box because you can't fill all the space. Even if I separate all these, you're going to have a lot of gaps in between the bricks. But I have a suspicion that this is more than will fit here. So we're going to try that in an upcoming video. But let's see what we got in here. This is pretty simple. They're all pretty much the same. 3, 4 different pieces. I bought a lot of these last time, and I didn't think I'd run out, but I did. This is 1x6, 1x6 brick in sand green. And if you're anything like me, sand green, sand blue, you can't pass it up. Such a good color, expensive to buy online. So whenever I see it, I buy it. So I got a whole bunch of those. Each one of these stacks has 9 bricks in it. For reference, that's what fits in a pick-a-brick box. Sideways is 9. So I got those. I got one more stack on this end. So that's, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. And 4 is 8. 8 times 9 was that 72? 72 of those bricks right there. Now this was exciting. Wasn't my first choice in color, but if you're anything like me, you can't pass up on masonry bricks. They are lavender, and I got a lot of them. because they're masonry bricks, and masonry bricks are awesome. So I think I'm going to have to make a purple lavender house or building. Unfortunately, they're all 4 long, which is nice because those are the more expensive ones online, but they can be tricky to build with just 4s. So I'll probably have to get on Brick Owl or Bricklink and pick up some 2s. But all of this here is these lavender masonry bricks. 1x4. So I got a ton of those. Let's see. 4, 8, 12, 16, 22. 22 stacks of 9. I'll let you do the math. It's late and I don't feel like working that one out. All right. Now these just look like boring brick. This is going to be a project. These are plate and they are stuck together tight. But again, I used a lot of black plate. These are 2x4 black plate. But I use a lot of them for roofs, and I'm always running out of them. So I picked up 4 strips of those, and the best way to get in the box is to stick them together. So I got a lot of time with a brick separator. Hopefully these come apart pretty easily, but we will see. Let's see how easy I can pop one off of here. Not bad. Okay, this won't be too bad. Still a project, but that won't be too bad. So that's all black plates. And then because there was 1 spot left in the box, I have a column of these 1x1 cones in orange, which I'm going to use these for traffic safety cones. So these I didn't necessarily need, but there was space for 1 row of 1x1, and that's what I threw in there. So all of this fit in the box. It's a much different stack or pile than what you see from the cup, but again, we're going to test that. So a lot of cool things to do with these, a lot of stuff coming up that I'm going to do with these, and thanks for watching. If you have any questions, leave them below, and we will see you next time.